What's going on? Welcome to the LAN Party Podcast. We are actually, literally, right on time today. This countdown timer actually made me go live right on time. I almost missed it, though.
Yay, and congratulations.
Yep, we are right on time, 4:30. No Tyler today, so not sure what's up with that. He hasn't contacted anybody in regards to not being here.
Maybe he's got an actual job now.
An actual job?
Well,
as opposed to a
yes.
fake job?
Yeah.
Wasn't he driving for Lyft?
I don't know. I didn't hear anything about that.
I heard about it. I heard him mention something about it Saturday. It's like he's honestly probably out doing that because, you know,
I don't like strangers in my car.
except he's about to be behind on rent and car payment.
I mean,
and all
that's
that
true,
other
but I have told him Harbor Freight is hiring at $11 an hour, and while retail sucks, it's easy fucking money.
Yeah.
And I can, guarantee he gets hired. And it's easy fucking money.
It's like, same.
But, Lyft pays well. If you do Lyft right, it'll pay really well. No question. I just don't like strange people in my car.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I don't let you in my car.
You can't let anybody in your car anymore.
I can let one person in my car.
You took all of your letting people in privileges out with the seats.
Why do you have keys?
He lost the keys to his toolbox at work, so
I didn't lose the keys.
somebody lost the keys to his new toolbox at work, so he's replaced new. It's new to him because of his promotion. Nightwing posted about 8 minutes ago. Hello. Doesn't look like I've got anybody watching the stream right now, so I apologize I missed that. We weren't entirely here yet, but we were having a discussion before the podcast started that I kind of cut off because the podcast started. Fallout 76 has gone live on PC for many people early, and we're not talking like a couple hours early. We're talking like a day early.
So, do you just drop his gain?
I just dropped Tyler's gain because I was getting a lot of background sound, and if he's not here, I'm not going to have all that.
Okay. So, we pre-ordered physically. It's like, why?
Here
Why
is
do
why.
we have to wait?
Here is why. We pre-ordered through Best Buy.
Yep.
Best Buy doesn't send the game redemption code to us via email. It comes in the Power Armor edition in the Collector's Edition case. When he pre-ordered, they sent him a redemption code, which he then entered on Bethesda's launcher. Actually, I don't even think you had to do that. Since you pre-ordered through Bethesda, it automatically went straight to his library.
Yep.
So, but the beta access code counts as nothing?
Yeah, no. Because, and I feel like the more I think about it, the more I understand why people would pre-order on Amazon. Amazon would email them a beta code, and then they'd cancel the pre-order.
It's because all those people cheating the system that you can't play the game now.
Motherfuckers.
It's a little it's honestly it's a little frustrating because I was just telling Nate, I'm like, we both spent $200 and after tax $214 on our game, but we have to wait till tomorrow whenever it decides to show up at the fucking door.
Yeah, and it's UPS, so it's it could be anywhere between
UPS is usually around here in the morning.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Sometimes I've seen anywhere between 10 and 4.
And to be honest with you, I don't know what all the details are, but I called Nate when my Pip-Boy edition for Fallout 4 was delivered, and I'm pretty sure I made that phone call at 9:30 in the morning. Because once that happened, we came over and we took it out of the box and we looked at it and we installed everything. And then we went to Target to pick up the Nuka-Cola Quantums. So it was in the morning. I don't know all the details, but I would imagine that since it's a pre-order, they have to expedite shipping because it says on Best Buy's website, get by 11/14. So I will have it in my hands at some point tomorrow. Hopefully in the morning. I'm waking up earlier than I usually. I wouldn't say early because, 9 a.m. is really not early, but it's early for me on a day that I have to go to class at 1. So
I feel like you got yours before 9 a.m.
I might have.
The Pit Boy edition.
If it's,
I think I remember us being at Target like around 9.
If it's
and we
anything
were amazed
like,
that they were already sold out.
yeah, if it's anything like, because Best Buy, or not Best Buy, UPS also did the express shipping on my rear main seal for my engine, the overnight shipping, and that was at my door at 8:30 in the morning.
Okay. Yeah.
And my guess is part of the pre-order is express shipping. Because they probably don't get them into possession until yesterday or today, unless you're a GameStop owner. There's people who have had the GameStop Power Armor Edition for 4 days now. Somebody at GameStop slipped up.
Or somebody at GameStop was higher up was like, yeah, we don't want to pay all the shipping costs. Go give it.
Just go ahead and send it out now. So yeah, Fallout 76 has launched on PC. Xbox and PlayStation servers are still waiting. I find that astoundingly ironic that
They still have to re-download the game.
Yeah, well, Xbox preload went live early last week, and then I think 2 or 3 days ago the preload for PC and PlayStation came out. But yeah, they had to go through and uninstall the beta and reinstall the game, and apparently there was an issue with people trying to uninstall the beta. They couldn't uninstall the beta unless they had already pre-ordered or purchased the game. Like, their systems weren't letting them uninstall it. I just thought that was just funny.
Yeah, and knowing their download time, so they're probably done by now.
Yeah. Nate has no idea how big the day one patch is. He wasn't paying attention.
Well,
This is important information.
because when I went to download it, it told me I was gonna have to download the entire game again. I was like, you gotta be kidding me! And I started it, and it like there was a loading bar, and it went away, and it's like you're done. I was like, okay. So apparently it wasn't very big.
Oh, also, did you get a $10 like e-gift card from Best Buy?
I haven't checked my email recently, but I didn't last time I checked.
Okay. Yeah, they sent me ones like, oh yeah, it's like, thank you for ordering this. It's like you get a $10 like in-store credit thing. So I was like, huh. So I mean, I had a couple of items I had saved, like someone to see when wait for them to go on sale. One of them was a mouse. It was like a $60 mouse. It was $30. I used a $10 thing on that, so I got a $60 mouse for $22.
Nice.
So I was like, sure.
Yeah, I mean, I take it.
So I was like, I get a new mouse on Friday.
I had to go down to Best Buy the other day and buy a new SATA cable, and it's really bothering me because I have one blue cable in my computer, and it's that motherfucking SATA cable because my new hard drive didn't come with one.
They don't usually come with one.
All the ones that I bought did. The 3 terabyte that I've got in it now came with one.
Motherboards usually come with them.
Yeah, my Samsung didn't come with any.
That's ridiculous. I got a Seagate. I got the Barracuda 7200.
I always just get those. What is it, like the WD one?
Yeah, WDs. I've heard very mixed things about WDs. I've heard, yeah.
So I just buy them up. I've bought like 5 or 6 of them. I haven't had any problems with them yet.
Yeah, I've always used Samsung and Seagate. Those are usually my go-to
I've heard
drives.
mixed things about I hear mixed things about all of them. So it's
Well, some people just get the shit end of the stick and then write a piss poor review about it. Like, oh, it got kicked around by UPS and shipping, so it doesn't work. Now I'm gonna give it a one-star review.
I think it's just a characteristic of hard drives. Sometimes they just go bad. I think it's just what happens.
Well, and I'm also a little skeptical when I look at a 4 terabyte hard drive from Seagate that costs $115, and then WD's selling a 4 terabyte hard drive for $83. I'm like,
well, WD they have like different speeds. Like they have like if you
so does Seagate.
I'm
talking 7200s.
Well, they're like not made for gaming though. They're real slow. They're made for storing things.
Yeah, I've also considered getting one of those big external, like, massive storage towers and just connecting that to my computer somehow so that I just have my games library on that.
Just get your server stack.
I mean,
Hard drives.
Yeah. I've actually thought about getting one of those in-home like wireless like server boxes that's supposed to be super fast streaming so that you can stream stuff. Not necessarily for games because I don't think it would work as well for that, but for like movies or music or documents that maybe I want them to be able to access down on the computer downstairs. I can just send it to that server stream and it goes downstairs or to the PlayStation if the PlayStation's connected or the Xbox or whatever. Of course, I don't know how well that would work. I mean, it potentially could work for game streaming because I'd imagine that's how all these game streaming services work.
Yeah, I mean, assuming it's not, I actually probably wouldn't even matter about the size. Matter how good the connection to it is.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know that
But if it's all in home, it shouldn't be too bad.
No, I know that PlayStation, at least for a while, was doing like a game streaming service where you could subscribe to it and you wouldn't have to download the game. You'd just click play and they would stream it to your console. Was really neat, but the quality usually wasn't great. Like the picture quality wasn't usually very great.
Yeah. I mean, you're not going to get it in 4K.
No. But
I'd imagine if your internet's good enough, you could definitely pull off 1080.
oh yeah, no doubt. But yeah, so I'm just kind of bummed out that I can't play Fallout 76 right now. So we are gonna have to. I'm gonna try and figure out something to play. I was playing Sea of Thieves, the Pioneers build last night on Sea of Thieves, and I really want to play Sea of Thieves, but I'd be down for anything later.
I've been playing Destiny 2 lately.
Yeah, so you actually got it?
Yeah.
It's a solid game early on, and it's not a bad game at all. Like, the biggest downside I have for it, and I'm sure Nate can attest to this because we both beaten the game, once you get to the end of the game, there's not a lot of replayability.
Yeah, it feels like most other FPS titles to me is like I have a feeling I'm going to beat it, put it down, and never pick it back up again.
It's fun. It's really fun when you're leveling up. Once you reach the level cap,
Already have.
and you've well, you don't have any of the expansions, so yeah. Nate and I both have the expansions, so our level cap's like what, 40 or 50? It's like 50, I think. But once you reach that level cap and you kind of got your character to look the way you want, you're really just grinding for very particular things at that point, and it just becomes a little monotonous. Now, that being said, strikes are pretty fun. Like, doing strikes with 4-man squads is a lot of fun. And we did do a little bit of Crucible, which is very similar. Like, you can feel the Bungie in the Crucible because it feels like Halo multiplayer. But I mean, it's a fun game, looks gorgeous, lacks replayability once you beat it.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. It's like I haven't moved on from Venus, just because I'm trying to get the armor set for Venus.
Yeah,
it's taken a while, but it's like going through the forest area and it's like, this looks pretty cool.
I mean, the game looks fantastic, and in 4K, dude, it is breathtaking.
Yep.
And that's like, me and Nate played it a long time ago. When I got it with my graphics card, I convinced him to get it. And we played it a bunch then, and then we quit. And then we played it a bunch a couple months ago, and then we quit. And I'm sure with it being free, we'll probably play it. Well, in Fallout 76, though.
Yeah, it's like, I played about an hour with Pancake, and he's like, yeah, it's like, we're going to play it up until, like, about that point, and then never again for, like, 36 months.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a while. I'm going to have such a hard time balancing games. Like, it is unreal. The stuff that's coming to Sea of Thieves, amazing. You're going to actually like, not necessarily for the reason that most people are going to like it. Did you see the announcement for the arena?
What is it?
It is a new game mode. It is what they called, and I think this is actually really fucking cool, if we're ever in a combat-y mood, they called it Sea of Thieves Concentrate. Essentially, it's when you start the game up, you're going to be presented with Adventure Mode, which is traditional Sea of Thieves, or the Arena. And when you select Arena, you're loaded into a lobby, and that lobby, everybody is given the exact same wheel of maps. and you're competing to find the treasure. And you can see where everybody's at. So it's a very PvP centered, but at the same time, you get kind of those really impactful moments within a 30-minute time frame instead of a 3-hour time frame. So you're getting more of that interaction that a lot of those great stories that we have come from crew interactions. But the problem is crew interactions happen few and far between on the adventure mode.
Yeah, it's like what we don't tell you is like the hour and a half we spent just sailing around.
Yeah. Just be like,
I was actually remember something like, you remember how John would always tab out and
get DC'd and then come back and
and Jared would get so bored he'd play his guitar.
Yeah,
because I realized like as we're sailing along, it's just like if I was there, it's like you're steering and I'm just walking between the sails adjusting them.
Usually Nate's on lookout.
Barely. He's probably tabbed out too.
Or falling asleep.
That too. Yeah, I didn't really understand it because that was like the one trailer that did a piss poor job telling you what it was.
Yeah, because it's still in very early development. They're still doing internal testing. Like, I as a pioneer have not received any word on what's coming at all, but here's a few pros for us. There are nights where we want to go and fight ships. Like, there's nights where we're just like, yeah, it'd be fun. Let's go test our metal and fight some other crews. Now, we don't have to just load into a random fucking server and wait. You load into the arena, and you're like, okay, let's do this. Let's fuck some shit up. But say we want to be a more laid-back session, sailing around, doing missions, helping people level up their merchant missions and stuff like that. Now, that mode in particular is probably going to be a lot less combat-oriented.
Yeah, I can see once it drops, at least like right after it drops, all your pirate legends and all them that have nothing better to do.
Oh, look who showed up.
Turn his gain up.
15 minutes late.
Listen, I
Yeah,
like to be
all of your
fashionably late.
all of your combat focused people though are going to switch to arena at least for a while because that's what that's going to be focused on. So you're going to get finally your poor solo sloop players are going to be able to
You're
sail
gonna be able to live, man.
unmolested.
Well, now that they're
Is this thing on?
Yes.
now that they're giving the Kraken to sloops.
No, we don't know anything about that.
Oh, well, why the fuck did you mention?
No, I didn't mention that, Nick.
God
I
damn
never
it.
said anything. I don't know what you're talking about. I have definitely did not. I don't know what you just did, but I can't hear anything anymore. So thanks for that. I can hear stuff now.
That's all I did is plug something in.
Plug it into a different port. See if that fixes it. Nope. Oh, wait a minute. Wait.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can still hear, but it's much quieter now. That's really disorienting.
That's weird.
Why you got so much trash all over the place?
Well, because,
Because he's white trash.
podcast didn't look like you were coming, so I just threw it all back in the chair and in your way. But yeah,
Sorry,
so
I was playing Spyro Reignited. So,
you didn't even have a good excuse. That's pathetic.
What do you mean? That's a great excuse. Just came out today.
We thought you were trying to find a job, you poor bastard.
Well, I have been. Guess what? Nothing's panned through.
I know.
So I've been driving for Lyft.
Been there.
So if you go outside, my car is fucking filthy because I can't even afford a car wash right now.
Anyways, what we were talking about, there are some features that I have tested that I am allowed to talk about because they've already announced them, but I can't talk in depth about them. I can just kind of go on piggyback off of what they've talked about. New explosive barrels.
Oh boy. That sounds fun.
They're 3 times as explosive.
That doesn't sound fun.
When they blow up, they create mushroom clouds.
Oh boy.
So we're gonna pile like 3 of them together, or 5.
Here is the trick. This is where it's going to get difficult to use these. from what I gathered, they're not going to be able to be found like around the world like regular powder kegs. It sounds like you're going to have to find them on forts. Not positive, but it sounds like you'll have to find them on forts. And Joe Neate said at the XO 2018 conference, being that they're 3 times as powerful, no more is there a safe place to put them. Even in your crow's nest, if they blow up on a galleon, it will damage the ship. So, that being said, with high risk comes high reward. They're supposed to be extremely profitable.
If only the cursed cannonballs were like that.
But no, you can still
seriously,
carry away.
They could have locked those behind a fort. Like, oh, here's a cursed cannonball barrel.
You know what? I tell you what,
right
though,
behind a fort.
with the exception of the other night, and the other night was, to be honest with you, was just a bad night for us.
Yeah, we weren't.
I don't think we've done too terribly bad since they introduced those. I mean, that was the first night we had a really shitty night since they first introduced cursed cannonballs, and then they were spawning at
I still don't like
ungodly rate. I mean, I don't like them either, but
the entire time when you're in a fight, you're just barely between sinking and staying afloat the entire time.
if the other
It's
crew
fucking
knows what they're
annoying.
doing.
They don't even have to know what they're fucking doing. They just had to put a few holes in ship and hit us with a bilge ball while 2 people are off the boat and we're over there panicking.
That's why you gotta keep your cool. Like, I kept my cool that night, and we got, what was that, 20 grand? Kept my cool. You just gotta relax.
I feel like that crew was relatively garbage.
Yeah, they probably were, but let's
And
be
we
honest.
came super close to sinking.
We were also a man down.
It's also true.
How often do we run into good crews? We had those 2 or 3 the other night that just fucking handed our asses to us on a silver platter multiple times, but aside from them, we hardly ever run into good crews.
The cursed cannonballs still really piss me off. I hate them so much.
Yeah, but here's another trick that comes with bad crews. Bad crews usually don't hold their cursed cannonballs on their person. They'll store them in the crates. So, when their ship sinks, they're out of cursed cannonballs. Smart crews, us, will take the cursed cannonballs and give all of them to Nate, because we know that you can hold 10 of each type.
Until Nate DCs for being AFK.
Yeah. But yeah, so the new explosive barrels, back to kind of what we were originally talking about, they look neat because you can actually kind of see a glimpse of them in the arena trailer. They're like a regular barrel, but they look a little bigger with like bones wrapped around them and like skulls painted on them.
Nice.
And
yeah, wasn't it in the image in one of the images in Discord?
it might have been.
Yeah,
It's very possible.
You and who was it?
Ink.
Were talking about it.
It's
He
very
mentioned something
possible.
about the swords, like you can get, and it's like the sword that person's carrying is just the sovereign sword.
No. It is actually a unique sword. So this is actually a neat little thing they're introducing. Yeah, actually, you're right. There it is. That is the this is the barrel in question. And the sword, I think he was pointing to the coat, which is also already in the game.
Okay, yeah, because that sword's the sovereign sword.
I can't. Yeah. Yes. But this is the new barrel that's 3 times as explosive. I'm curious.
It looks like
though.
you're not gonna be able to see where you're walking when you're holding it.
Yeah, I have no
boy.
idea if that's true.
Well, if they do, that would keep you from blowing them up under people's boats unless you know exactly where they are and where you're going.
I mean, I'd imagine you could still see a little bit. It's probably going to be better visibility than the fucking plants, because let's
Who
be
knows?
honest.
Those things are fucking atrocious.
God, So are the physics magnified 3 times?
That's what they made it sound like. Mike, I'm wondering if not only... So the physics are supposed to be magnified 3 times. The power is supposed to be magnified 3 times. Does that mean the damage is going to be 3 times more powerful? Does that mean that when one of those blows up, you're going to have 12 holes in your ship?
Imagine one of those things going off directly underneath the sloop.
Oh,
It would go
Goodbye,
up out of the
sloop.
water before it came back down to the sink.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe you'll get enough airtime to repair all the holes before.
Or
you
at
get
least
around.
at least enough of them so that it doesn't immediately sink when it hits the water.
We're gonna have to try that now.
It's like,
When sloops fly.
We already had that.
yeah, we've done that, but okay, now imagine how many barrels was that, would you say? Like 2? Well, no, there were probably several barrels on that sloop that you blew
The
up with a
sloop that
cannonball.
we made fly? I think it had quite a few.
Yeah.
But they blew up in succession. They didn't all blow up at once. So what happened?
It wasn't too big of a delay.
No, but what happened was you can't necessarily consider that a 3 times amplitude because it wasn't all at once. So now we're talking all at once. Like,
Yeah, and let's face it, if you're standing anywhere on the deck on that sloop, you're probably dead.
yeah.
I mean, at the very, let's say the very center at the very bottom.
Oh, no, you're probably going to be dead anywhere.
Under the water is like, you might have a chance at standing on the bowsprit or the canvas.
Yeah,
Or you'll be on the crow's nest and you'll just go flying.
your chance of survival is very slim at a minimum.
Yeah.
I'm really curious as to where you might find them. Like, I know people have been bitching a lot about not having merchant items in forts.
Yeah, maybe they'll be.
That seems like
they were gonna be fort drops because the
yeah,
way,
like
the
they
bone
look.
thing
Yeah,
around?
they kind of look like a fort drop. Which would be really nice because I mean, not for me and Nate because we already fucking ground through all that. But for somebody, like, actually, I think you're 50 with merchants, aren't you? Or is that the one that you're not up to yet?
Pretty close.
Okay, yeah. So
No,
now,
I'm 50 with order souls.
yeah, now non-pirate legends have that handicap. And now I understand. I'm starting to understand why all the pirate legends were a little frustrated when they first launched the Build Rat shop and you could go buy ranks because
Or
they're like,
Now,
come on.
now that they're adding all this stuff, it's like we have variety that we didn't have. You know.
Yeah. Now I will say that is nice having a variety of loot.
Yeah, because doing the cargo run things, I find way more appealing than going to track down animals.
Well, that and you can run them alongside other missions, which is so much less mind-numbing.
Yeah.
Merchant quests are what you do when you're ready to end the evening and you just want to leave your computer and go to bed. So you do a nice little wind down thing. That's a merchant quest for like the regular retrieval quests. Now with the cargo runs, you actually have to... It's strategic, but still entertaining. Doesn't pay a whole hell of a lot for what it is, but again, the point of it is you can run them alongside other missions.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, and I think they touched a little bit more on on the details for Shrouded Spoils, which is the next patch, which is supposed to be coming sometime this month. So I would say we're expecting it within the next week or two. So Tyler, be ready to molest your internet again.
Fun stuff.
Oh, you know what? They did mention. I'm so sorry. They did mention at XO18 that the Kraken will drop rewards now. So
Yay!
Yeah.
It's not just a pointless encounter.
Now, can they get the Meg drop rewards? Because we see that damn thing all the time.
yeah, I have no idea, but I would assume if the Kraken drops loot, then maybe the Meg will.
Okay. Because, I mean, let's face it, that's bullshit.
They're both bullshit. Especially the goddamn Megalodon. Dude, we'd be fucking rich if we killed the Megalodon every time we saw it and it dropped loot.
Yeah.
We'd be like, oh yeah, so how much gold do you have? Oh, I got like 700,000. Oh, I got like 7 mil. Why are you so rich? Well, we have a lot of encounters with the Megalodon.
And you know that because since that thing chases us all over the fucking map, we'd have plenty of time to kill it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're just gonna quit. We're gonna quit doing missions altogether and just sit out in open water and fucking
sail around till the Kraken or the
We wouldn't even have to do that.
Megalodon.
Yeah.
finds you.
You
Just leave a port. and
you
there
just
it
leave a
is.
port and you just hear.
Not only that is all you have to do is wait for the random encounter skeleton ships now too.
Are those a thing?
Are they?
I don't know.
Who knows?
They did mention that they would be an emergent thing way back in Cursed Sales. They actually did say that. They said that they would be emergent encounters, but I don't know if they mean the way they've implemented them now, because that doesn't seem emergent to me.
It'd be kind of annoying if they spawned right fucking next to you. If
It
you're
would
sailing
be.
around.
Didn't
But here's the question: do they despawn once they do? Or are you just going to have like a fucking fleet of skeleton ships sailing around on the open seas? You're like, I need to go to that island, and then you see the blue lanterns. You're like, all right, we're going to go the other way. It's cool. I don't need anything over there anyways. It's just a captain's chest and a chest of grog. Yeah, pff.
didn't they mention? Didn't who was it talk more about it in one of the developer updates?
He might have. And I do know that they're planning on doing something with the skeleton ships because they data mined a skeleton sloop. Like there's images of a sloop skeleton ship variety that was data mined out of like Forsaken Shores. A lot of people thought it was coming with Forsaken Shores.
One of them was you're gonna have two. I think I remember him saying something. You're gonna have two types of skeleton ships.
Possibly.
One is going. It's not like they're both galleons,
Yeah.
but one is hostile and will attack you. The other one's. What are you doing?
I'm getting hot.
Okay. The other one's passive and will just kind of like sail around,
Interesting.
but will defend itself. Like my question on that one is like, what happens if you board it? Is that considered aggression?
Probably. And I'm still standing by the question, do they despawn? Like when they spawn, is there a cap on how many there can be? Or are they just going to spawn and then sail around until something is done about them?
I know it's probably limited it to 8.
That would make sense.
And divide that 8 up into 2 per 4 corners.
Region, yeah. Oh my god. I just realized how miserable would it be if a fucking skeleton ship spawned in like the Devil's Roar.
Oh boy.
Like you're just trying to avoid dying via volcano and all of a sudden a ship comes up out of the water and you're like, oh, come on. I just...
God.
You know what I want to see them add?
Hmm?
Severe weather that can sink your ship.
That would be... Well, I mean, you got they made the
Yeah,
storms
storm.
more violent.
Like, I want to see, like, tornadoes
Now,
and,
Like
like,
water spouts and stuff.
I
yeah,
will
water
say
spouts.
I'm super excited about this fog. Like, I can't offer details, but I got to play I played the Pioneer build last night.
No, I've never heard anybody more excited about fog than you.
No, because
About
here,
this fog.
I was thinking about this. So, I got to use it last night, like in the build. When I saw there was a fog thing, I just sailed straight for the fog. I'm like, I don't even fucking care if I run into a rock. I just want to see how bad this is. But the fog is going to offer so many fucking awesome combat opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
Like imagine you're in an alliance with another crew, right? And it's a sloop. You alliance yourself with a sloop and you're being chased by a galleon. Fly the Reaper's Mark to a fog storm. And then you meet your sloop buddy with no pennants up or no flags up, and you're like, all right, we're going to cut the Reaper's Mark. We want you to put the Reaper's Mark up. So now your sloop is in the middle of the fog with you while you're being pursued, and you switch who's got the flag. So now their navigator on the galleon is chasing is going to be like, oh, they're just sitting still. And then they're going to sail up in this fucking, I would imagine it's just going to be fucking thick-ass fog. And they're going to sail up, and as soon as they see the ship, they're going to be like, it's empty. There's nobody there. And it's a sloop. What happened to the galleon? Then that's when you're just going to loop around, and they're just going to see off the left-hand side just cannon fire just ripping through the fog at their ship.
It'd be badass if you could pull it off.
There's so many cool opportunities that the fog leads itself to. And I wonder if they'll change like the soundscape when you're in the fog, kind of like they do with storms, where you kind of hear the ship like twisting and
Creaking
and all that shit. I wonder if they're going to like amplify.
I wonder if you can, I say, chase the fog around the map. Like, you know how you can basically stay in a storm if you really
Oh yeah,
want
I'm
to?
sure you could follow the fog. I mean, the way they made it sound in the dev update is it's essentially a new weather type. So very similar to storms, just fog.
So, like this giant storm that's roaming around, there's just going to be a big fog cloud roaming around the map.
It's just going to be one giant, it's going to look like mushrooms floating on the water. Oh, there's the fog.
Guys, the destination's on the other side of the fog.
The fall. It's on the other side of the fall.
You know, after you reach the edge of the world.
It's on the other side of the fog. It's like, quick, look at the top. Do you see any flags? No.
Probably not.
They get in there and then like the galleon just slides.
Yeah, it's just. But like, can you just imagine? Just based off of the clip that they showed us that we went over last week, how thick that fog was. Could you just imagine a galleon just sneaking up on you out of the fog? Like you're at an island and you're just doing some stuff with your crewmates, and you're on a sloop or a brig, and then all of a sudden you just see sailing really close to the island, the bowsprit of the galleon just kind of creeping through the fog, and you're like, guys, boat now, go.
It's the whole captain look thing.
That would have made that moment so much better.
It just emerges from the fog.
We'll have to get one of an Horn clip. Play it through the speaking trumpet.
No, we just get one of those big what do they call them? Foghorns. Foghorns. Just use it exactly like that.
That's what it is.
Yeah, it's just like boom.
But we
play
should,
whale noises through the fucking speaking trumpet.
We should sail like on the edge of the fog with just like the bowsprit sticking out, to have some guy looking around for ships and just sail in the fog continuously. People
be like, oh, there's somebody, lure him into the fog, and then we lure him into the fog, and they're like, what the hell? And then you just get up on their ship, you drop their anchor. Yeah, we're actually like already through the other side of the storm now. We just wanted to lure you in so that you were blind. We prey on the blind. God, that's just that. Imagine how terrifying that is. And imagine all the rocks that are already in the water
that we hit,
especially
a
in
lot
like
in plain clear as day weather.
Like the galleon already has somewhat of a visibility problem. The brig is really bad from the helm. I'm just imagining the brig's visibility problem with fog.
With added fog. Oh boy.
It's like you run into something. Guys, why didn't you tell me I was close? I didn't see it until we were like 2 inches away. But yes, enough Sea of Thieves. We do have a bit of unfortunate news to discuss. Stan Lee has passed away. The father of Marvel Comics. That is unfortunate.
It really is. He'll definitely be missed.
I tell you what, though, that man he lived to be, 95, I think is what they said?
Yeah, I didn't realize he was 95.
Yeah, talk about a prolific life.
I mean, just imagine what he must have been nothing but happy. Like, can you imagine something that you did, 50 some odd years ago or more? Like, you just wrote comics. I guarantee you never once did he think when he was doing that in the beginning that they would be as popular of a comic as they are. And I guarantee you he never would have foreseen them becoming one of the biggest movie franchises in the world. Like, the Marvel Universe exploded.
It sure did.
Luckily,
he had the foresight to record
all of his cameos.
Most of his cameos.
Yeah. Pretty far ahead.
Yeah, before he passed. So
we'll
still see more Stan Lee as the things release.
I was gonna say because it was like without his cameos, there's no reason to go see a Marvel movie now.
Yeah, there's no reason at all.
It's pointless.
Just to see the silly Stan Lee cameos.
See that interview with him where he's like, I'm glad everybody comes to see my cameos and of course watch the movie too.
Yeah,
it's just
he was a funny guy.
And I'm sure I don't see how you could afford to be such a bitter person. I mean, I think he was a secret celebrity. Like, obviously he was a big person, like a big name, but it takes a special kind of human being to be like that important, that influential, and just still be just a happy old man who likes comic books.
Well, I think part of it is like I think after a certain point he got to where it's like, I'm old enough, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Like, there was that one scare a couple months ago where he went in to have a checkup or something, and some news article said, Stan Lee rushed to the hospital urgently, and he's like, guys, I'm just going to get a doctor's, like, I just had a checkup.
I think one of his quotes is like, yeah, I'm like 94, what do you expect?
But still, it sucks, man. Like, I just want to go 1 year one motherfucking year without losing some awesome and important, influential person. 1 year is all I ask.
God, how many people have we lost today? It was like lost this year.
This year, it hasn't been so bad in this past year, but like the past, it was really bad in, what was it, 2016?
Yeah, the past
You had,
2
like-
years, we lost a lot of people. Let me
Let's
look
see.
up.
From this year, I remember we lost
Tom Petty.
Tom Petty.
That was awful. Tom Petty,
Was Prince this year or last year?
Prince was, I think, 2 years ago.
Was it 2 years ago?
Yes, it was 2 years ago, because we played a dedication song at the first show that our last band played out. We played a dedication to Prince. We did Purple Rain. You lost Prince, you lost David Bowie, you lost Glenn Frey from the Eagles, you lost Tom Petty, you lost Stan Lee, George Michael was from Wham. Who else did we lose? We lost more than that. Lemmy from Motorhead. Not that these people are that influential, but big names. That's just Chester Benningfield from Linkin Park / Stone Temple Pilots. Just awful. Too many people. We need one 12-month span where we don't lose an important person. That's all I want. I want 1 year where I can live stress-free of some person's unfortunate demise. And we've lost all these people. Need I remind you, Keith Richards and fucking Mick Jagger are still alive.
Somehow.
And don't forget Ozzy.
And Ozzy. But let me...
How the fuck he's still alive?
Yeah,
Nobody
Ozzy,
knows.
Keith, and Mick Jagger, and it's just like...
Keith and Mick have been around since dinosaurs roamed the fucking earth.
Yeah, and it's just like...
The thing is, like, everybody says, like, all the drugs they took have, preserved their body.
Yeah, probably. They're walking Twinkies.
I mean, they're just so old. And don't get me wrong,
And
their music's great, and I don't want
the-
them to die, but...
They're old, and all the fucking drugs that they've done, too.
Poor Ozzy. I've told you about this. He's done shows he doesn't remember.
Yeah, well, I mean, what does this say about those groups like Dare that go to schools and tell kids not to do drugs, and they're like, but what about Keith Richards? He's like 1,000,000 years old, and he did all the drugs in the world.
Well, yeah, you've got those two, and then they're on one end. Ozzy is like on the other. He's got some mental issues.
That's true, but it's just like.
But I mean, he's still alive.
Tom Petty was a really tragic one though. You know, he did the last quarter of his tour or more with a fully broken hip.
What a trooper.
That's one of the reasons he died, is because the last show of his tour was so painful that when he went home, he accidentally overdosed on his medication. Like, it started as a small fracture, and they tried to tell him that he needed to hold the tour, and he said, no, these people paid, they want to see their show, I'm going to give them their show. And as the tour went on, he progressively fractured and fractured until it finally escalated to a fully broken hip. In his last show, he was performing with a broken fucking hip.
At what point was that? Why would he just, like, sit down and...
I would imagine that is also extremely painful.
But you're not moving.
But all the weight that you're putting on your... I mean, you're putting a hell of a lot of weight on your hips no matter what. Yeah. You're putting at least half your body weight on him at all times.
But you're putting weight and moving versus weight and not moving.
Now, he didn't move a whole hell of a lot when he was at the end of his tour. Like, he would walk slowly across the stage, but at the same time, he was also down in hella lots of painkillers because of the pain. But, I mean, if I'd have known, and obviously I didn't have a ticket to the show, but if I was a ticket holder at one of those shows, and I'd have known, I'd be like, Tom, dude, bruh, go get it fixed. My ticket.
Take care of yourself.
I'd rather see you.
The show can wait.
Yeah, I'd rather see you 3 or 4 months late than never again.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate thing. Malcolm Young passed away as well. I can't remember if that was 2017 or 2018.
It's just too many people.
Mm-hmm.
We went from a really happy and fun podcast to a really fucking depressing one. Really fucking fast.
Had to bring up Stan
We
Lee.
just we flipped the switch from happy to sad. Smiley face to frowny face, like that.
I saw a comic book panel that had Spider-Man, or Peter Parker rather, in a Spider-Man outfit, sitting on top of a grave crying, that said Stan Lee.
Damn. You know, speaking of Marvel, the Russo brothers said something about, they said something along the lines that the name of the next Avengers movie was actually a line in a previous film. So...
Wow, okay. Now we'll just have to watch all the Marvel movies.
No, apparently, and I can't remember, I think one of them was Salvation, but somebody posted
Terminator?
well, yeah, but
Terminator
some of them
Salvation?
posted, no, that's not a Marvel movie,
Oh,
Tyler.
I thought
Dumbass. One of the people that posted a response on their Twitter post got banned from Twitter for copyright infringement.
Oh boy.
And he posted on Facebook, he's like, these are my 3 that I posted on Twitter that resulted in a ban. And people were like, Pixar, it didn't happen. And he showed, he's like, every time I access Twitter, ban. This is why you were banned. Privacy infringement. And he used the F word, which isn't enough to dictate a ban, but it's kind of like icing on the cake. Like, well, you did this.
We're
We're just going to tack this on now.
we can add finger points now.
Yeah. But apparently a lot of people think that if that is the case, and one of his 3 suggestions, it was like Retribution, Salvation, and something else. But a lot of people think it was Salvation because I think in Age of Ultron, when Ultron was trying to wipe out a bunch of people, and he said something along the lines of, this isn't death, this is salvation, or something like that, and people are like, yeah, that's it. So, interesting little tidbit of information. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. That movie's already done being filmed. That's the worst part about it.
It's coming out next year.
Yeah. We have to... I know that it's done. Like, I know it's done, and I have to wait.
You know what I totally can wait for? The new Star Wars movie.
You know what I can totally wait for?
What?
The Pokemon movie that they're coming out with.
Fuck.
Did you all see that trailer?
I have not watched the whole trailer yet because I just can't bring myself to do it.
I swear to you, I can no longer think of Ryan Reynolds as anybody other than Deadpool, and he voices Pikachu.
Does he really?
Yes!
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it, so I was like, I haven't done this. Like,
they got Deadpool to voice Pikachu.
I'm just like, I'm like, Deadpool? Like, this is a different universe. I'm sure that they'll do an alright version with the movie, but like...
Why?
First off, yeah, why?
Why?
Second off, I cannot unhear Deadpool.
You're just waiting for him to say the F word.
It's just... I
Make
can't...
some fourth wall breaking joke.
I saw that trailer last night, and I actually, like I'm like, it looks alright, but Deadpool? Why? Also, while we're on the topic of shoddy movie and cinematic decisions, I don't think we actually talked about this last week, and it was one of the things I wanted to talk about. Johnny Depp will no longer be in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. Interesting decision.
For the worst?
did they ever say why?
No, they didn't. And, well, the reason that was presented by most media outlets was that we want to restructure the film. Whatever the fuck that means.
Oh, so it's Disney's way of just killing off all the old people. So that's what they do in every...
I'm so mad because at the end, spoiler alert for anybody that has not seen Pirates 5 yet, it's what, 2 years old now? This should not come as a surprise. At the end of the 5th movie, they brought back Will Turner as a normal human being, not cursed. Mm-hmm. And Elizabeth Swann, they reunited. Jack sailed off with the Black Pearl, finally his and his alone. And I'm like, oh, the next movie's going to be good because you got the original 3 people together. Jack's got the Pearl. It's going to be great. Oh, no, there's not going to be Jack Sparrow.
They also introduced some new characters.
And they brought back Davy Jones at the very end of the movie. And Davy Jones, in my opinion, is one of the best villains in most movies.
They did?
Yes. The end credit scene, Will Turner was having this weird-ass fucking nightmare, and you see the shadow of a creepy, skelly, or crab, whatever, mutated dude walking through his building, and he wakes up, and there's nothing there, and you're like, oh, it was just a bad dream, but then it pans down, and you see a bunch of barnacles on the floor. I'm like...
Which doesn't really make sense, because, they lifted all the curses.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't make sense, but don't spoil it, because Davy Jones was a fucking great villain. We gotta be honest with ourselves. He was a great villain. His character was written so well, and he played that part fantastically. But no, we're not going to have him. We're not going to have Will Turner. We're not going to have Elizabeth Swann. Barbossa died in Pirates 5, so we're not going to have him.
Spoilers.
Unless he gets brought back
More spoilers.
again.
And, okay, also, you can't introduce Jack's father as Keith Richards and Jack's, uncle is fucking Paul McCartney, and then get rid of Jack Sparrow. How are you going to introduce those characters in future movies?
You're not. They're just not going to exist anymore.
That was one of my favorite parts about the 5th Pirates of the Caribbean movie was fucking Paul McCartney. Like, I'm sitting there in the theater and watching him like, why does he look familiar?
I think it's funny how they only had enough money for him to say one joke.
Yeah.
One really shitty joke.
But, like, I was sitting there in the theater. I think I watched it with you, Nate. I'm like, do you know who that is? And Nate's like, I don't fucking know who that is. I'm like, I think that's Paul McCartney. And, of course, Nate, being naive as he is like, who?
Speaking of old as fuck musicians.
Yes.
And he goes hard on his concerts and stuff. He does, 2 hours, not even a drink of water.
He looks pretty good, though. Like,
Yeah.
he looks like he takes pretty good care of himself now.
Yeah.
But
still.
I don't know how you can have... I honestly don't know how you can have Pirates of the Caribbean without Jack Sparrow.
Jack Sparrow. I really don't think they did the character justice anyway since Pirates 2.
I
3.
think at World's End, whichever one was the last one with the original 3,
Yeah,
I think was the last one where Jack was really well done. I can see the downfall that a lot of people talk about in 4 and 5. He was still himself, but
he was more like
kind of a shell.
A caricature.
Yeah. But definitely, like,
a
Pirates...
caricature of a caricature.
Pirates 2 and 3 are on my list of best movies or favorite movies of all time. Like, those 2 movies, the CGI in those movies, even today, is really good. And just the score, the film score, Hans Zimmer did such a good job with the music, and it was so well acted and so well written. I just loved those movies to death.
You know what CGI still surprises me? Jurassic Park.
Yeah. Which one in particular, though?
The first one.
How much was that CGI? I didn't think there was a whole lot of it.
There wasn't a whole lot of it, but there was some, and it was used to enhance their animatronics. And some of the things were just standalone CG too, or animatronics, which their special effects was just fucking amazing.
Yeah. But I mean, like, for me, Pirates of the Caribbean without Jack Sparrow is like trying to do Star Wars without lightsabers.
Yeah, true.
Well, they're already doing it without all the original characters, so...
Yeah, but
That's
like
different. You can tell a good story in the vein of Star Wars without having the same characters.
But the lightsabers are such a core part.
You have to have likable characters. There's only one character I like so far, and they kind of fucked him too.
You've started him. He is...
I'm about ready to go off, man.
Okay.
You flipped the rage switch on Tyler.
Which character do you like? I just want to know.
Poe Dameron. And they kind of neutered him in, what is that, 7, 8?
Episode 8, yeah.
8, yeah.
I don't remember that.
He was supposed to be the new... Everybody thinks he's the new Han Solo. You can kind of tell where all these characters, who they're replacing.
Yeah, but they don't really do a good job sometimes.
Well, okay. But at least... Here's the thing. Here's the one difference. Contrary to what anybody thinks about the new Star Wars movie, I happen to like them. But whatever you think about them, at least you still get to see the characters on their way out. we're going to go from Pirates of the Caribbean without Jack Sparrow, or with Jack Sparrow, to Pirates of the Caribbean without Jack Sparrow. No transitional period. You're just going to have with and then without.
Yeah, we'll see how they do that.
I will probably go to see it just to see how
Bad
it comes out. I'm not going to say it'll be bad because
Okay,
I don't know.
My glass half empty attitude.
I'm going to approach it open-minded, but I can tell you right now, I don't think it's going to be good. That being said, it is being written by the writers who wrote the Deadpool movies, so that was extremely successful and also had a pretty well-written story. My problem is, though, doesn't matter how good the story is in Pirates of the Caribbean, if it's been built around those characters and their stories so heavily that I feel like without those characters, the movie's just going to falter.
Yep, I know what you mean.
So I don't know. I'm interested to see how it comes out, but I am also skeptical of its success. But we'll just have to wait and see, because it's not out yet. They also released a short little teaser trailer for Toy Story 4, the final Toy Story movie.
I haven't seen that one either.
I thought they all got melted down in 3.
No.
They didn't.
Almost did.
Almost did.
Spoilers.
Tyler, the movie has been out for years!
I'm just saying.
To be fair, I have actually never seen it.
There you go.
Toy Story 3 was actually really good. And I'll tell you one movie that's done a really good job
Made me sad.
of being good in every iteration is Toy Story.
Yeah, first one was good, second one was fantastic, and the third one was solid.
And apparently the fourth one is going to be like pretty hard to get through for some people. Like Tim Allen and Tom Hanks both said that when they filmed the last scene, like when they did their last scene for that movie, they Tom Hanks wouldn't look at the glass pane where everybody was he was facing away from people because he was losing it while giving his lines. So
Yeah. And also at the same time, it's Pixar, right?
mm-hmm.
Yeah, they
Pixar makes good movies.
yeah, they do.
Everybody thinks I'm weird for wanting to go see the new Toy Story movie. I wanted to go see the new Cars movie, but people don't realize those movies were new when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And Pixar knows that. That's the fucking worst part about it, is they know that.
Yeah, they know how to target to their audiences now, and they're just like, I know how to hit you where it fucking hurts, bitch.
Plus, I'm not even gonna complain. It's Pixar. It's they're good movies.
Yeah, well, I
They know what they're doing.
I think Toy Story is a healthy dose of nostalgia and possibly feels. A healthy dose of feels. But this podcast has just been all over the place.
Yeah, it has.
No one fixed topic. And I think we're just about rounding up on our hour.
Yep.
But yeah, we talked about everything from Fallout 76 launching early to some of the new features coming in Sea of Thieves. Some speculation about those new features in Sea of Thieves. What else? Stan Lee, movies, good and bad decisions in movies, and we kind of went all over the place today. Nate didn't say much of anything. Why?
I'm not really feeling all that hot today. Well, I mean, I'm hot.
You just
but
said you were hot.
Well, you need to fix your feeling sick.
Yeah, just don't do that. Just stop.
All right.
But yeah, I'm gonna stop the podcast here. We might be live later playing something if I can convince Nate to not play Fallout. Because right now he's the only one in our group of friends, I think, that's going to be able to play. Well, him and John can play.
Well, it sucks because I can't play Fallout 4 because it's fucking broke again. And now I can play Fallout 76, but I can't play with anybody else.
You can play with John.
If he's even on.
I have a feeling if John finds out that Fallout 76 is live, he will be on.
Plus, I'm wanting to make a new character, but you can't play, so there's no point.
Yeah.
Why can't you play?
Because
wasn't
my
here?
game's not here
Because
yet.
you pre-order it from Best Buy.
Because it didn't cost me $55 to ship it. You know they were charging people $55 to ship
cost
it
that
from
much.
Bethesda?
Shipping. Why does it cost that much
Really?
to ship it?
It's a fucking helmet. It's
You know,
heavy.
I shipped an engine from Canada for free.
An engine?
Yes, for my Honda.
Oh yeah.
And you have to pay $55 to ship a game.
Not me. I didn't have to pay
A
that.
fucking engine. And that guy complained so bad when he had to take it to my house. He went and knocked on the door first. I wasn't home, my mom was, and he's like, I just want to make sure we're home before I have to carry this heavy ass thing up here.
What was he delivering it with?
He carried it up to the front door.
By hand?
Yeah.
Yeah, he walked all
Well, I
the
mean,
way
you're
from
talking
Canada
about a
with it.
Japanese engine. That was what, a straight six?
Yeah, I didn't.
Aluminum.
You could carry it.
But still, it's
But
like
it
most.
was heavy as fuck.
Okay, I'm going off our box trucks. They have pallet jacks and carts in them,
I mean, that's true.
and they've got the lift gate.
His driveway's probably not very easy to use any of that stuff on, though.
Yeah.
But still, I'd rather drag it up on a cart than.
May not be able to. I mean,
handle it.
the weight of that on wheels might fight you more than it's worth.
Eh.
It might be better to just set it on a pallet and drag it up by hand. Just like grab the pallet and just pull it up the driveway. But we've gone on a tangent again, and we have, I think, finally actually capped out on our hour. So we will see you all possibly later today, if not, hopefully, definitely tomorrow. I know that was a lot of whatever the adverbs or adjectives, but the goal is to be playing Fallout 76 tomorrow, provided my copy arrives at a reasonable hour.
It's gonna suck. So I'll get off work at 11. I'll have it. I'll be able to play until I have to go to class.
I will wake up. It will hopefully be at my door. I will have just enough time to open it up and ooh and ah at it, and then I have to leave for class.
Ooh. Ah.
But when I get home, I can play it for as long as I want.
Hooray.
But then, then I can't. Then even after I get out of class, I still have to come. I have to go to bed for work.
Yeah.
But after Thursday, I'm off Friday. So after I get off work Thursday, I can play however fucking long I want.
Yeah. It's gonna be good, but I'm gonna kill the stream here. So thanks to anybody that tuned in and hung out, and hopefully we'll see you all later today or tomorrow.
Peace out.